A warm welcome to you all in the closing ceremony of 1 hour duration approximately. Um, After a rigorous and compact rehearsal sessions scheduled back to back since yesterday, there is no tiredness we are feeling. Panel discussions and sharing sessions were truly engaging. All were at ease and complimenting to run the sessions effectively. Some were in front and many more were in backstage, but all together with one goal, one program, and with feeling of oneness. Amazing, but real experience throughout. With full of energy and enthusiasm, we all are gathered again to listen the recommendations of all three special interest groups so that collectively we can think and progressively plan for next rehearsal scheduled in next month in November, around 16th and 17th of November, just a week before final showcase of conference. So let me invite Dr. Kumar Sambhavji to share the points extracted from panel discussion of Special Interest Group 1, that is holistic education. Kumar Bhaiya, you are most welcome.
Dr. Ila would be sharing that.
Okay. So let me invite Dr. Ila to share the extracted points of SIG 1, that is holistic education. Welcome, Dr. Ila.
Is the screen fine?
Yes, it is fine. Yes.
So today the closing session of the 9th International Conference on Human Values in Higher Education with the theme on value-based education for humane society. We had the panel discussion, which of course included So it included a lot of discussions on the main theme and the sub-theme, and happy to present the summary and the recommendations. The session 1, which was on need for value-based education, highlighted after a lot of brainstorming and discussion on the key points that integration of values in education is a must. Technical skills alone are insufficient, and human values are essential for students to understand what to do, not just how to do. Value education should be a priority as it helps students make ethical choices and live a meaningful life. The priority of values over skills, yes, both were found to be important, but values should be prioritized first as they shape ethical decision-making and life choices. And value education and curriculum, assigning credits to value education within the formal curricula signals its importance as a subject. And experiments in the institution show that students initially focused on skills, eventually recognize the importance of values, validating the need for structured value education. We had the discussion also further on teaching versus self-learning, and values do not need to be taught, not just caught. As students may form, they do need to be taught, not just caught, as students may form incorrect assumptions without proper guidance. Teaching values in higher education makes it easier for students to apply them in real life, complementing their technical education. And early versus higher education, values need to be introduced in both schools and higher education, as foundational values shape future societal leaders and decision makers. But as a policy, introducing in higher education first facilitates the developing of parents, teachers, policymakers who can facilitate the value inputs in primary and secondary education. There was also a discussion on moral versus value education, and the distinction between moral education and value education was discussed, and need was felt for promoting self-exploration through value education, which is not generally the case in moral science. We moved on to the second session, that is the vision for higher education, the consciousness development and societal transformation. So here, education's role in consciousness development was discussed at length. Education needs to focus on self-awareness and wisdom, empowering students to navigate their life with clarity and purpose. It needs to prioritize right understanding first, followed by fulfilling relationship and then physical facilities, ensuring a holistic approach to personal growth. Value-based education versus research and innovation was also discussed, and it was found that value-based education ensures right utilization of the research and innovation made earlier and prevents their misuse. So it is important, research and innovation, but value-based would definitely give direction. So it also enhances appropriate research and innovation by ensuring that technological progress serves the greater good and aligns with human well-being, fostering ethical, responsible, and sustainable innovation, preventing misalignment with societal needs. Also, the graduate attributes in the curriculum were discussed at length, and the 6 common graduate attributes can be met through value education. Eco-friendly research, self-regulation, gratitude, and other values can be inculcated in students, leading to social well-being. Embedding these attributes in the curriculum aligns the education with the goal of a peaceful, equitable, and sustainable society. Taking this vision further, we also discuss formal education for societal harmony. Education must promote global citizenship, mutual respect and harmony, nurturing the individuals who recognize their shared humanity and responsibility. A holistic curriculum combining values, science, and humanities can drive societal transformation. We also discussed value education leading to value-based education, leading to value-based living. And on the in-depth discussion, it was found that it is not sufficient just to introduce some courses on value education. Rather, the whole education eventually has to be value-based, leading to a value-based living, empowering societal transformation as individuals contribute positively to their communities and the world. Moving beyond job readiness, education must focus on emotional intelligence, social consciousness, and so on. Assigning credits to UHV courses, this also was discussed. Credits do need to be assigned to UHV courses so that students study it sincerely. If it comes to assigning the number of credits, all the courses in the curriculum can be prioritized and credits can be assigned accordingly. It was also discussed that teaching in regional languages, human values in regional languages will make it more effective. The session 3, that is the key insights on implementing value-based education. It was discussed the role of faculty and management in implementing value-based education. It was seen that faculty do form an integral role in embedding values in the curriculum, modeling their own ethical behavior, and providing experiential experiential learning opportunities for students. They are the ones who guide students in reflecting on their actions and choices. For the management, it is crucial in providing resources, creating supportive policies, and fostering a culture that prioritizes values across the institution. And both faculty and management must collaborate to ensure a structured and sustainable approach to value-based education. Further, it was discussed on the implementation of holistic value-based education, and it was found that through the discussion that interdisciplinary approach, that is, values should be integrated eventually in all the subjects and not confined to separate subjects or classes. So collaboration also with parents and community to reinforce the values consistently at home and in the community. It was also discussed a student-centric learning approach where it is encouraged for inquiry, their self-reflection, and active engagement with values. Also, emotional intelligence was discussed where the teaching is with empathy, resilience, and social harmony is encouraged to foster well-rounded development. Several hurdles were also discussed in ensuring that the value-based education and solutions in the institutions. So lack of educator training, the educator, lack of that training for the educators is found as a hurdle. So this can be addressed by offering professional development in value-based teaching methods. Curricular rigidity, where one can shift towards flexible interdisciplinary curricula that prioritizes critical thinking and ethical inquiry. Also, academic pressure was discussed, balance academic success with character development through a holistic approach to assessment was found it to be important. Cultural differences are there. So to foster an inclusive environment that respect diverse perspectives while nurturing shared values. Also, it was discussed whether the extending of this value-based education to primary and secondary levels. So age-appropriate curriculum can be discussed they can be taken up using stories, role play, many interactive activities to engage young students. Parent involvement to reinforce values at home through active parent engagement and a supportive environment which ensures values are consistently modeled by teachers, peers, parents to extend learning beyond the classroom. And transitioning from value education to value-based living, this was discussed also at length, and it was discussed that integration across activities to embed values not just in the lessons but in co-curricular activities, sports, governance, etc. Reflective practices where encouraging regular reflection on ethical decisions and their impact. Mentorship and guidance wherein mentors are assigned to help students apply values in real life. So this is mentorship beyond classroom also. Ongoing assessment where evaluating students not only on academic performance, but also on the ethical growth, the social responsibility, their participation, and emotional intelligence, that is their feelings. Practices, case studies, projects would be helpful for effectively exercising the content in any technical or professional education. To have better impact of value education on students, it is necessary that the facilitator or the mentor also live by it. And therefore, emphasis was on self-development. There were several recommendations. So based on all these discussions in the three sub-themes, based on the keynote sessions and the welcome speeches, all this was discussed, and the recommendations that were are being shared on value-based education needs to be ensured in all educational institutions from primary to higher education, and values hold a higher priority over skills, with emphasis on in higher education. So values can be introduced as a course to begin with, but gradually they have to lead to value-based education and value-based living. Education needs to focus on conscious development. Skills without values are going to be misused by unguided but highly skilled professionals. So there is a need for more and more leadership development programs, management development programs, and faculty development programs for effective implementation of the courses. There is certainly a need for research and innovation, but emphasis on values will provide the right vision for research and innovation. The education boards and councils need to see that there is transformation in the consciousness level of students through education and review the progress from time to time so that timely corrective measures can be taken. And value education in regional languages can be encouraged to make it more and more effective. So, sorry. So these were the discussions that were, these are the final, you can say the essence that is drawn from all the three sub-themes which were discussed on value-based education for human society. And the panel in special interest group was holistic value-based education. That was the main sub-theme, wherein the need, vision, and implementation were discussed. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ila, for summarizing the recommendations and sharing with us. Now let me invite Special Interest Group 2, Dr. Sharmila Asthana ji. Sharmila ji, you are welcome to present the conclusions extracted from SIT 2. Welcome, Sharmila ji.
Namaste and good evening to everyone. Yes, we had a full panel discussion on the first day. We were talking about the need for holistic human health, and there was not that much of I think almost a unanimous decision by the panel that there does seem to be a need for holistic human health. Some of the concerns that were brought out were that one, that there is, as of now, the focus is more on medication and treatment rather than on looking at health, but rather, just correcting the disease. And even there, the focus a lot of times is on suppressing the symptoms of disease. Like, for instance, for high blood pressure, we are kind of suppressing the blood pressure. We take medication and bring the pressure down, but the underlying root cause is not taken care of. Similarly for diabetes, similarly for arthritis, we take care of the pain, but the real root cause of the arthritis is not addressed. Or in diabetes, we tend to decrease the blood sugar, but the real reason for diabetes is not clear to us. And so many examples were shared, and it was brought out that there does seem to be a need for change. This was just one of the concerns. Some of the other concerns that were brought out and raised were that values, there has been some lack in the values in the healthcare professionals. Rather than being compassionate to the sick and to provide compassionate care, a lot of times the focus has shifted to an almost a fee for service kind of a transaction, where profit maximization has come to the forefront. So it's almost like a business or an industry rather than a service-oriented profession. this was one more concern. And then a very large concern was that this issue about, the sustainability of the system. So if we see the amount of expense that is currently there with all the state-of-the-art diagnostics and how much of billions of dollars are being spent on the healthcare industry, even before the treatment gets started, just for the diagnostics itself, it is a huge cost, which is creating an issue for the common man. And such a system, it seems, is unlikely to be sustainable. So these were some of the concerns also that were raised and discussed. And almost unanimously, it was agreed that perhaps, we do need a change. One of the panelists, Dr. Dipesh, was initially of the opinion that perhaps, we are going fine because we have so many positive aspects, like we have been able to get rid of many of the epidemics like polio with the vaccinations and so forth. But this concerns he could see are valid, and by the end of the discussion, he was able to see that perhaps there is something to this, and maybe we can think about it. So this was on day one, and so almost a unanimous yes for we can consider a need for a change and try to see something different, or if we are missing something. On day two, when we were talking about the vision, again, a lot of discussion regarding the proposal that the human being is a coexistence of self and body. There was some apprehension regarding the self, like, this fact that the body we are able to see, we can relate to. In the medical field, through our education, we have heard of the brain, we have talked of the brain in depth, but this self is not something tangible or is not something that we are able to see. But then when it was discussed that, we talk of rewiring the brain, and we talk of training the brain, we talk of sort of, having an impact, or, rewiring the brain. So who is this person who is actually rewiring the brain? If we are saying that the brain is the one that is running the whole show and is, doing what needs to be done for the body, then who is the I who is rewiring the brain? Because we talk of it very often. There was also talk of, there are some examples in medicine about the phantom limb. So if we see the phantom limb, when there is an amputated leg or, a part of the body, and the patient still is able to say, or is saying that they can feel some sensation in the amputated part. Now that's not possible to go through the brain because the nerves have been cut from there. So the nerves are no longer conveying this. So what's happening really? So it could be addressed by the self, that when the self assumes that it is there, then it is assuming that that part is still there, or is able to, almost feel this sensation, you can say, or assumes this sensation is there. So much discussion brought out some sort of open-mindedness to perhaps the possibility, but of course it was discussed that maybe we need to do more research on these areas, which are kind of gray areas, and specifically in psychosomatic diseases, where we are not able to see where it is leading, because with all of this effort, the psychosomatic diseases incidence has not gone down. Rather, even in the developed countries, this is a major cause. The the major killers today are these non-communicable diseases. So something we have to do, and this vision perhaps could be an answer to some of the missing links that we are seeing. And so perhaps more research may be required. And that being the case, also there were some concerns regarding how we are going to go about doing this. Because so far, all our systems are in place with a certain framework, a certain view that has been developed over time. And now when we bring in this new concept of self, how are we going to go about it? Implementation was a concern. There was a concern regarding, patients want quick fixes. They want, within, they don't have time to get sick. So they want medication right now so that they can get back to work the next day. And so when we are talking about program of health for the body, then there was a concern that, patients will not adhere to it. There was also a concern that, if information could do it, then doctors wouldn't be having all these issues of smoking and things because they have all this information that it's not very good for the health, but yet they do it. So whether, just running some courses or workshops, giving the information will be sufficient. But then we were also discussing how we would implement it and whether we could do this. And so that brought us to the third day where we were discussing about the implementation and how the process of self-exploration, which has been tried and tested among several of the panelists, was actually something that might work. For instance, Dr. Swapan had shared that before this onset of getting into this human values and being exposed to the process of self-exploration, he was having a lot of issues in terms of mental stress, headaches, a lot of weight gain, which was extra, and he could see that this is creating a problem for him, and many other issues. And once he got into this and started the exploration in earnest, started taking responsibility for the health, doing some regular physical exercises, first thing he saw was his mental stress came down, the headaches vanished, and he was able to bring down, I think he said he lost some 10 kgs of weight. So all of this was something that opened the minds of many towards implementation. And there was discussion about how to go about. Then there were concerns in implementation that, okay, yes, we can have an open mind and perhaps we can have more research. And maybe we will try out a workshop of two. But then how to go further on this? And so it was brought out that, we can have, we can talk to, there are many who have done this implementation in their universities or colleges. There are universal human value nodal centers which can be helpful. There are regional coordinators who could guide. And so a lot of guidance would be available. And we can put forward some of this. And if we join hands, perhaps we can together make this a world a better place, make there a possibility of well-being for all rather than piecemeal solutions for just a few. So with that, I think it ended on a nice note. We talked about courses that can be included, not just of universal human values in regular as an add-on course to the curriculum of the health education, maybe in MBBS, nursing, pharma, dentistry, physiotherapy, and all such allied courses. But also eventually having all of our education with a value-based perspective so that we can guide our young students, young minds, young doctors with not only having a more broader outlook, a more holistic outlook to the whole, look at the human being and human health, but also to inculcate values with all of this and perhaps make a difference with this holistic perspective on health. Yeah, and one last thing that was also mentioned was that we had discussed about wellness centers. In the next phase, perhaps after the education part, or maybe alongside that, for those institutions which were willing and ready, we could look at holistic wellness centers where we would have centers with integrative medical care, but at the same time, patient education, focus on health, not just on medication. So, an all rounded holistic effort, including other integrated fields of medicine also. So, I think this was some thing where we ended the discussion and it came to a close. So, that's from the health panels. Thank you. If there are any questions or
Thank you, Sharmila ji, for sharing recommendations extracted from Special Interest Group 2, which was about holistic health. As I am observing, as I am viewing that this holistic health topic, this is gaining worldwide attention nowadays. And UHV, certainly UHV is, there is enough possibility through UHV to provide some purposeful insight in this direction. So
Yes.
this is good to see that we all are stakeholding in this direction of holistic health also. Congratulations for successful panel discussions, Dr. Sharmila. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now I invite.
I think it was a, sorry, I'm interrupting. I think it was a well done team effort, which really did. I'm just sharing the views, but the actual team did much of the work. So kudos to the team, I would say. Thank you.
See. So now I invite Dr. Gopal Babuji for sharing recommendations of Special Interest Group 3 that was about SDGs solution at root. Dr. Gopal Babuji, you are most welcome to share recommendations, please.
Ishrat Didi will share from our side.
Ishrat ji will share. Okay, so Dr. Ishrat, you are most welcome to share the recommendations, please.
Namaste to all. Good evening. Greetings for the day. On behalf of my team, that is panel discussion on addressing SDGs at the root, let me present the concluding remarks and also the recommendations that were presented and discussed during the 9th International Conference on Human Values in Higher Education. As said, the addressing SDGs at the root, we had the UHV perspective was presented by Dr. Gopal Babuji. And then we had Dr. Vanchana ji and Dr. Jyoti Kulashetra ji who were moderating the sessions, and Dr. Geeta was the scribe for the sessions. We had a different panelist across and who have joined us for this discussion. The panelist for the discussion for the 2 days rehearsal was Dr. Tara Prasanna ji, then Dr. Supraja ji, Dr. Vanchana ji, Dr. Geeta, Dr. Archana Mirakshi ji, Dr. Gopal Babuji, then Dr. Jyoti, and myself were the panelists for this panel discussion. Coming to the panel, on the day one, the concluding remarks for the need for addressing SDGs at the root, we had a discussion, and as per the discussions, we realized that SDGs are not being addressed at the root. Seeing the interconnectedness among the SDGs is very important for its fulfillment. need to bring in a holistic approach to solving problems and bottlenecks is a requirement of the hour. Consumerism has become the priority of educational institutions, which needs to change. Bookish knowledge being imparted to the students is not helpful to bring back the focus on ethical aspects and real life values. The immediate risk of not addressing the challenges in SDGs implementation is the environmental changes, societal unrest, wars, etc. Sustainable and people-friendly technologies need to be created and utilized. Fostering the global culture and introducing value education is the key for sustainable development and establishing a holistic order. These were the concluding remarks for the need for addressing the SDGs at the root. Similarly, we had another panel discussion for vision for addressing the SDGs at the root. And one of the most important SDG is the quality education. And for the vision, it is important that through quality education, which is holistic and human in nature, we can ensure developing right understanding in the generations. And this will lead to creating a human society which practices sustainable and human development methods. Apart from the quality education, the other important SDGs is ensuring zero hunger and eliminating poverty. These are very important to satisfy the needs of the people in the society and to improve the quality of living. For this one, education and capacity building is very important for creating the sustainable vision and acquiring the right skills, which are based on right understanding and right values. Right understanding paves the way for right living. And this happens when there is a shift of focus from consumerism to human values and human relationships. Local solutions have to be identified for meeting the local challenges, which will build into solving of global issues and problems and provide sustainable solutions. And then we had a panel discussion on implementation for addressing the SDGs at the root. The concluding remarks for the same were, education is the key address to the roots, and thereby the roadmap for implementation for addressing the SDGs should be laid. Community-specific needs can be identified by the grassroots organizations, and the interconnected solution will ease the process of SDGs implementation. Recognition of feelings is important during implementation. Right understanding from individual to community level is necessary for successful implementation of policies. Bottom-up approach is necessary for holistic perspective vision. That is the planning, not just the planning. Vision is also important for implementation. The 17 SDGs, when integrated with human goals, leads to a collaborative approach for implementation of SDGs. Environmental sustainability with undefined growth, removal of poverty without defining the prosperity are some of the contradictory approaches that are the main challenges in implementation of SDGs. So these were the concluding remarks during the panel discussion. Based upon our panel discussions, the recommendations for addressing the SDGs at the root are, it is crucial to develop policies and frameworks that acknowledge the interconnectedness of the SDGs. Tackling one SDG in isolation can result in unintended consequences. Hence, a holistic approach is necessary. There is a pressing need to overhaul the educational systems, giving equal importance to holistic worldview alongside academic knowledge. Encourage the development and use of technologies that are environmental friendly, socially inclusive, and designed to meet the needs of the people in a sustainable manner. It is essential to have capacity building programs that instilling the right understanding and values in individuals and communities, fostering sustainable practices and relationships. We should recognize traditional practices and tool-based technologies, encourage bottom-up approaches where local communities play a key role in identifying challenges and developing solutions that are tailored to their unique context. Rather than talking about SDGs at the global level, it has to move to the local level. Measure success by long-term impact rather than short-term outcomes. So a monitoring is a must for whatever SDGs we want to implement it. People, planet, and prosperities are the three advocacies. If taken care of, then SDGs can be addressed at the root level. 17 SDGs with holistic vision and collaborative approach needs to be considered. So these are the recommendations from the panel discussion on addressing SDGs at the root. Thank you once again for this opportunity. I thank each and every person who joined us in the panel discussion, and also the tech team, and also each and every one who have helped us in the successful implementation of this panel discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Ishratji, for sharing SIG 3 recommendations. Seems the sessions went effectively, and discussions extracted points itself. These are giving glimpse of various panel sessions under this SIG 3. Congratulations to you and your team too. Thank you.
Thank you, Pasnaji.
So it is very apparent that gradually the conference preparations are taking desirable shape. All the sessions went very well in a coordinated manner. We experienced and learned how to use Zoom platform effectively. We used Zoom chat and WhatsApp chat for coordination simultaneously. All the group members were active throughout since yesterday till now. So before taking concluding remarks from Ganesh sir, let's share our experiences. Still, Kumar Bhaiya is here with us. So I request Kumar Bhaiya to share his experiences so that we can improvise for final showcase. And Rajul Bhaiya is also requested to share experiences. Others also can share, those whoever want to. Please, welcome.
Namaste, everyone. So you have been always discussing that self-development leading to team development, leading to societal development is the key. And we are into it, I think. So all of us have been working personally to evolve ourselves through self-exploration. And the way the whole conference has been planned and the way it has been progressing is a very key example of the teamwork that we are able to do with no grudges and complaints, and we are able to move forward in such a smooth manner, cohesively. So a very good example of teamwork, what exhibited in this whole process. And we can see that earlier, if I go 15 years back, up to 15 years back, so we are able to work only locally in some of the states, and before that in only some of the districts. With AICT getting active, we could work at the national level and we could cover all the 8 regions under AICT, and the process of value education could cover the entire nation. Now it's high time that we are able to move outside the country. So we had international conferences earlier also. We had 8 international conferences and they were very good in face-to-face mode conducted. We could cover many of the Asian countries, but looking at the potential that this online platform has, we conceived of having an online international conference, and we have made it possible this time. And we are able to now get in touch with countries across the world. We have been trying to approach all the nations and the dignitaries there. there are some limitations to that. And now we are trying to contact people abroad through our personal contacts, through the contacts of our nodal centers or our organizing partners. And it has a long way to go. So as I perceive it, that in the last 15 years, we made progress in the country. In the next 15 years, maybe we are able to make a similar progress in the world. So what we can plan after this international conference, if the delegates abroad are able to get in touch with us, then we can have leadership development programs or some short webinars with countries across the world, the policymakers, the professionals, the educators there. And then it can be a rolling process. So every year we are going to have more and more contacts abroad, more and more programs ahead. And the onus will again lie on our own personal development, our self-development. The more we are able to get ourselves rooted in right understanding, the more naturally we are able to expand outside. So a very good process has got set in, and I think we are all into it. And there's a lot of possibility here. We have been talking about taking the value education across the world in 100 years. And I think in 100 years, it's quite a huge possibility that it can happen. Not only in education, but the program can percolate in other dimensions of society also, and it can also go to the constitution and order. So my best wishes to the entire team, and I'll say best wishes to the entire world that we are a part of this whole team. Thank you all.
Thank you, Kumar Bhaiya. We have Sunil Kumar Bhaiya with us. Sunil Kumar ji, if you want to share your reflections, your experiences, you are most welcome.
Yeah, namaste. Good evening, all. So it has been an enriching experience for sure. Sitting in the panel, working with the technical team, and also working in the individual sharing and the sharing of the institutions. So it was like a continuing effort for many months for sure. But the rehearsal was, in fact, that was helpful to prepare ourselves for the next final rehearsal as well as the final conference. It's the first time, though I have been part of many conferences, the first time we have got a lot of preparations and very going on very meticulously. So being part of the team, I'm very much delighted that this experience I can share anywhere. So regarding the panel discussions, I would say that everything has been covered by Bela Didi in the education panel, to be precise. So there the discussions were very live. And in fact, the time which was allotted like 1 hour in the final conference, we'll be getting 1.5 hours. But I think this time may not be enough. That's what I feel like. Because there are a lot of deliberations, a lot of discussions, in fact, everything is for UHV only, because we are all UHV volunteers. But in the actual discussion, we may get some questions which are otherwise also. So the role of the moderator is very important over there. The role of the person who present the UHV point of view is also very important, and the role of the panelists who are UHV volunteers is also very important. So the actual discussion may not be like this. There can be some intriguing questions, opposing questions, conflicting remarks. So we can be a bit more careful regarding this. So in fact, we didn't prepare for this. All of us are for the UHV discussion. That's one remark which I would like to make. Individual sharings are also very nice. We can see that many of us are sharing our own reflections regarding what we have been exploring. But one thing, as Shamla Didi also pointed out during the individual sharings, that we have been using these words which we are very familiar with in the human values. So many of these words like natural acceptance, experiential validation, may not be familiar to the other participants from abroad. So we can use normal, simple kind of words which are helpful for the others also to understand what we are trying to share. So the audience with whom we are sharing is very important. This is a comment made by Shamla Didi only, and I take away this as very important comment for me when I am also sharing. We used to share this, the words will come, like right understanding, this may come. So what is the meaning of that? That is known to us only. So this is there. Yeah, it was a very nice experience altogether. And we couldn't get institution sharing from all the proposed institutions, but those 2 institutions in which sharing in which I was part of they were very enriching for sure. But some additions could have been made. So by the next rehearsal, we'll be well equipped to go to the final conference. Okay, Dil, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunil Kumarji, for your worthy advices and meaningful observations. Thank you so much. We have Tara Prasanna ji is here with us. Tara Prasanna ji, you are here with us.
Namaste.
Tara Bhaiya, if you want to reflect some of your observations.
Yeah, am I audible clearly?
Yeah, Bhaiya, you are audible.
So, namaste. Good evening to everyone. So it was a very enriching and fulfilling, entire experience. So today only I could join. Yesterday I could not. But overall, today, in the starting of keynote, then followed by panel, and followed by sharing by the institution, individual sharing, and each of the points or each of the sections, it was like we are heading towards the next level. So taking the content, taking the exposition beyond the country to the global platform. So if we'll see some of the things where we can work upon, like most of us we have already noticed, like particularly about the sharing of the institution. When I talk about the sharing at the SOA sharing, that we can improve further. And similarly, like in this rehearsal, took this timing with quite bit, one after another, which we can do in the regular workshop. It will not be there. So that is one thing. And the best part of that, every team members, every volunteer, their commitment, their contribution, which is very much encouraging. And right now I can feel that this kind of conference will set an example for the entire world and entire human community, that we can go ahead, like Kumar Bhai also mentioned. So for me, it was, every bit of the workshop is a fulfilling moment, learning and learning and learning.
Further to implement.
Yes, very well said, Bhaiya.
Thank you.
I must say thank you
Yes.
everyone, all.
These events are helping in strengthening understanding as well as learning to all. So same feeling here too. We have Aparajita ji is here with us. Aparajita ji, if you want to share something, or Supraja ji. Supraja ji, as convener of the host institution, if you wish to share.
Namaste, Didi.
Namaste.
Namaste to all. Listening to many of the institutional sharing. I could also able in the different level of institution, and it was a quite good takeaway. For me, individual sharings as well, I'd say a lot of emotions and a lot of transformations happen in many lives. So we are quite witnessing it in the every individual sharing. So, and also the SDG group I was in, the teamwork, what has happened and how we all been working for more than 3 weeks, how to bring into this rehearsal. So even with that team, it was quite, we learned how to have the teamwork without any, the whole team where we worked with SDG, I don't know what other teams, how it went, but I could able to say there was no complaints, no any disturbance within them. So it quite just went very naturally without any issues. So I learned many things through this whole program. That is what I could say. And we could able to see there is always a place for suggestions and improvement. I've noticed many places where we need to work, and that is all to be addressed in the main conference. So thank you all for for participating. Initially, I felt it's gonna be a very tiring day, but I really never felt it. Thank you so much.
Very nice, Suprita ji. So before we go for concluding remarks to Rajul Bhaiya, let me ask with other available participants as BN Pandey Bhaiya, RP Bhaiya, Bindu ji, Himanshu Bhaiya. If you wish to share your experiences, you are most welcome. We all witnessed your contribution, your throughout involvement, your facilitation to conduct it in a very smooth manner. But even if you want to share something here, you are most welcome.
Namaste, Didi.
Namaste, Bhaiya.
Namaste to all. I was just remembered that 10 days ESIP program where we are contributed for the whole 10 days from morning 6:30 to evening 7:30. Today also I see that particular contribution, but really it was a very enriching experience, and I was there for this SDG panel, and then some fruitful sharing was there in my session. Nidhi Didi has shared, and Jiten Chhabra sir has shared, Mahesh Kolte Bhaiya, Sangeeta Didi, and everyone in their sharing. This will reflect that the process that has been evolved through this UHV process, that would be just seen in everyone, that they are applying easily that, and they find some fruitful results for their living, and that motivated everyone to do that work. Everyone wants to live with this right understanding, and that the process of self-exploration is very easy to apply, and we will see the different particular aspects of our life where we are lagging and where we want to improve, and our internal problems that will arise during our living. So it was very nice experience, although I was every time, because I was in technical committee, so the listening part is there, and some other things are also there, but it is really very enriching and fruitful experience for me again. Thank you, Didi, and thank you for whole the team. They are participating well in a like a team that looks here, and again we find that the whole team is there. They will do anything. Anything means in that particular area. Thank you, yeah.
Yes,
Thank you,
this
everyone.
family feel is really cherishable, truly cherishable.
Ji, Didi, thank you.
Let me invite Raghavendra Bhaiya or Bindu ji if they want to share something. Acha, Raghavendra Bhaiya is texting that he want to leave, probably puja or that fasting ceremony that is required to perform. Okay,
In
Bhaiya?
the team, Vijayshri ji is there.
Yes.
Soumya ji is there. They have been very, very active in making this conference preparation happen.
Undoubtedly.
Yeah, and there are many others. I'm just naming a couple of them. Ishra ji is there, and Tarak Sinha ji is there. So all of course, Supraja ji is the convener. So anybody else from the team, if they want to share something, they are welcome.
Ji, may I?
And Prashant ji, will briefly you can say something.
Ji. Thank you. Ji, it was really the first time related to UHV. It was my experience, because I also have attended so many conferences, right, from 94, Singapore, Paris, everything. But this topic was very new for me, and I could get so many things. So my self-exploration improved, and along with me, Jyoti ji also was observing something, and she told me throughout the day, you are here on the laptop. So thank you. It's a great experience, and due to you all mentors. Thank you. That's all. Namaste. Namaste sabhi ko. Dhanyawad.
Bhaiya, it's 7 p.m. right now, Bhaiya. So I invite
I
you
just
for
want 1
concluding
minute.
remarks. Yes, Elaji, you want to share something?
Yeah, I just wanted 1 minute. Actually, in the last rehearsal that we had a very bad show in the sharing section. And the encouragement that we got from Rajul Bhaiya and from Ganesh Bhaiya was like it was very visionary. I was wondering ki, because Ganesh Bhaiya said, 2-3 hum kar lenge, 2-3 aap kar lena, 2-3 usko denge. So I was wondering ki kaise hoga. I couldn't understand that time. But then I got the encouragement when the senior admin team gave the list of 13 and they said, this is what we will take care of. Then we said, now it is seeming a little simpler. So we began with that. So I think that teamwork which happened really worked well. So thank you to all the institutes and definitely to the team of 4 which pursued the institutes and the individuals very well.
Nice. Thank you, Elaji. Now, Rajul Bhaiya, waiting for your closing remarks.
Okay.
Okay.
This conference is not like an event. Of course, it is an event, but it is a part of a long process. So I think that we should keep that in mind. And that process takes a lot of stamina, I would say. So like Sharmila ji did not have the presentation. And I was recalling that she got up at 4 o'clock. And since 4 o'clock, she has been in sessions one after the other, including the sharing sessions, including all the panel discussions. So it requires a lot of stamina. And that same is true for most of you. So right now we have 33 volunteers who have come for this closing ceremony. Throughout the day, we had more than 100 participants, more than 100 volunteers who are pitching in for this conference. And overall, there will be probably 150 volunteers who are pitching in. So it's something that is really something to celebrate, that we are able to collectively take what we have been able to grasp, what we have been able to explore, and we are in the process of understanding that, and it is making a difference in our living. So, so my kudos to all the everybody who is here and who is not here. Everybody is participating in this. For us to be able to take this forward, we have to be the example. And till we are perfect, there will be ups and downs. And so those, ultimately, we have to be an example so that people will pay attention. We are not going out to pay attention or ask people to pay attention to us. But if we are able to develop to the extent that we are good examples, people will be happy to take guidance. The purpose of the conference is so that there is an occasion for us to come together. There is an occasion for us to celebrate all the achievements and share what we have understood. The people who come for the conference, they will certainly get some benefit from this, a lot of benefit from this, I would say. For example, Bhutan, everything started in 2012 because their Vice Chancellor, Darshan Pema Thinley, had come for the conference. But in his own words, the conference was just the event. His meeting with the people, particularly the volunteers, convinced him that this is something that is not something which is just theoretical. It is practical, and I can take it home. He had been searching for something which will be helpful for implementing gross national happiness. And he was able to see that this makes sense, and he is able to, then he went through with it. And today we had a very nice presentation from Bhutan Institute of Wellbeing, where they have really taken this inside their programs, and it will be very helpful for counseling, for example. So the conference is not just for projecting what we are doing, but rather expanding the feeling of this family to all everybody in the world. In one of the conferences, I think it was 2013 conference or something like that. I don't remember which conference it was. Rinpoche ji, Samdong Rinpoche ji, was asked a question that what would be the best way to propagate universal human values, and what is the purpose of having international conference? And his example was that we always had this yoga, and it went overseas and it came back as yoga, and then everybody paid attention to it. So it is quite interesting that even though international conferences have been held, the reach outside is what it is, but the reach within has been tremendous. So it's like yoga coming back to India. So those things are also part of part of what happens. So let's keep going. There are very specific things for us to do as we go along. The homework is of course very important, and we are doing things in parallel. I can see that we are working on all the fronts, including the registrations and our preparations technically, our preparations in the content, in the process, and all that. So that is very important. And what I would recommend is that we take time to go through all the recordings. All the sessions have been recorded and they are on YouTube already. So we can go through those recordings in the next couple of days. And in each place where we are, each topic that we are preparing, we write down our own self-evaluation as well as ideas that we have got from other sessions, and come up with our, for the rehearsal too, and also for the conference, our final preparation for that. And like to close, I would say that this is not just an event. That event went well and now we are through with it. It is a part of a long process and we are all in that journey. Let's be of help to each other. And I think Ishraji had written a comment that it is like a family. It is certainly like a family. It is a family. We only have to realize it. So best wishes. Namaste to all.
Thank you so much. So very well done, UHV team. Everyone involved deserves a huge round of applause. Let's depart today to see again and again for such a noble cause of education.
Before we depart, sorry to interrupt, let's all switch on our videos and take a group picture as a memory.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, with due permission, I just want to make one appeal before we close. Yeah. So for the information for all, like we have got around 1,500 registrations so far. So out of which we have few foreign registrations. So here we are having very core members of this UHV family, and I may request everyone at their own capacity through mail, through WhatsApp, through LinkedIn, through whatever platform you feel you are comfortable with, please propagate this message and increase the number of registrations. It's a sincere, humble request as well as appeal. Thank you, sir.
we all will make effort for getting more registrations, international registrations.
Didi, we don't have the cameras here, so we won't be able to come inside. It's only audio.
Yes, attendees. That is it. Yes.
Yeah, if there are any, there are 14 attendees. Let's try to bring them all to the panel. Let's see if we can do that. All those who can bring panelists.
All the co-host can bring. Yes.
Eh?
All the co-host can bring.
Yeah. So let's do that. And we'll
And
take,
before you close, also we must, Anil Bhaiya's contribution as a take lead. It's means enormous.
amazing
So,
seminar.
amazing. Right.
And very nice. We had so many things that keep going up and down, so we have to take care of all of them, and that is happening very well, very smoothly, I would say. I have called Anil Rathorji at very, very odd hours of the day and night. And that is true for everybody else also. But since we are talking about Rathorji, he is a very big asset. So we have Akash also coming to the panel.
Yeah, some are denying to go to the panelist role.
All right.
Something.
Okay, now we have BN Pandeji, your video is the only one that is off over here. So let's take, and Suprajaji, can you take the, what you call, screenshots and put it in the group?
I was just wondering, like, I'm not getting only yourself and Sarnaji is in a spotlight. Tarapaya, can you help me out?
Ishrat Didi has put it in the group Bhaiya.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Supraja Didi, if you can take, you can also take.
Yeah, you click on the view and put gallery view.
Yeah, Bhaiya, I have done it.
Okay. So, so this first set of pictures only BN Pandeji's video is not showing. Okay.
And sir, a best part of this event is we are able to see each other, and it feels like we are really interacting and having the physical presence.
Yeah, in lieu of physical presence. It's very nice, very nice. Okay, so click. Did that happen? That Chidiya come out or not? Okay, next panel is with Ilaji and up to Kavitaji. So Soumyaji is there, Dipesh is there. Rathorji, your video is off. Kavitaji, your video is also off. Can you switch it on? Okay, so let's take this one and go to the next. I think this is the last one. Yeah, this is the second one. Oh yeah, very nice. We can see that Nidhi and her daughter are together. Nice. And Prashant and his wife are also together. Nice. Okay.
जी थैंक यू बाय करो जी थैंक यू शर्मिला दीदी और आप हमको काफी डेवलप कर रही है थैंक यू जी
Okay, so we'll see you tomorrow. The conference team members, if you are okay with it, we'll meet at 6:30 in the morning.
5:30
in the morning session, sir.
5:30 Tarapaiya's presentation. Yeah.
So we've been having lots of meetings at 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So,
For that, let us decide to sleep by 9:30 tonight.
Throughout the day could not sleep. Thank you. Nice.
Good night, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste.